Whew. Hey, y'all. So, a couple days ago, I went to go see the Odyssey. And all I can say is, wow. Wow. What an amazing film. I didn't have really... I did have high expectations going into the film. We're talking about a movie that was directed by Christopher Nolan, one of the greatest directors probably ever, for sure one of the greatest of our past couple generations. And he gets to tell this story of the Odyssey that we've all read at some point in life, whether you was forced to in class like I was, or whether you read it on your own. Most of us know the story of Odysseus in the Odyssey. And what he did with this film was absolutely a masterclass. The performances was top tier by everybody. It was no bad performance in the film, from Matt Damon playing Odysseus to Anne Hathaway playing Penelope to Tom Holland playing Telemachus, to even Robert Pattinson. His character was he played such a good douche, because he was a bit of a douche in the movie, not in like a high school douche type of way, but like a asshole, mean character type of way. But he did it to a T. But I guess I want to get into first some of the scenes that stood out to me the most out of this film, right? The first one, the Trojan horse scene, bro. Y'all. First of all, the visuals of all this, right? We're talking about Christopher Nolan. He likes to go all practical, and of course, we all know this was on IMAX. So everything was larger than life, right? So with the Trojan horse scene, you get these beautiful visuals and the build up to even them getting the horse pulled into Troy, and then of course the battle going down. But even before that, the way the scene went, where and if you haven't seen the movie, please go ahead, just click off this review. I appreciate you watching it, but you do need to see this movie in its full effect. But back to it. So the way the scene kind of kicks off is you have the Trojan horse basically in the middle of this beach, and part of it is at a low tide, so where when a high tide comes in, you have these soldiers dying because they're drowning, but they're playing up like the bit of Odysseus being able to lose his men for the betterment of the war. And this is something we see throughout the film, right? And that's happening. You have soldiers sitting on top of each other that are having bowel movements, but they can't move or they can't get out, of course, because they're in the Trojan horse. So fast forward, they finally pull in Troy. They find it, and they accept the gift offering, and they take it in to their place, to their home. And from there, bro, really what got me was the soundtrack and the way the scene sounded from a technical standpoint. Some of the beats that they were using, some of the strings they were using, the build up. Like if you saw the film, you know that build up. It was almost like a war cry. Like it was very cinematic. It felt like I'm a former athlete, so it felt like I'm preparing to go play in a football game. I used to play football, so that's how I felt. But that, along with the visuals, oh my goodness. So that Troy scene with the Trojan horse was amazing. And then it's amazing how they come back to that scene at the end of the film to give more symbolism to things that happen throughout the movie. So that's number one. Number two is when Odysseus returns to when he returns home. And of course you get some of the emotional scenes when he first sees his dog for the first time. And if you don't know, his dogs don't live that long. And his dog was dying, but he was waiting on Odysseus to come back. And as soon as he comes back, he wags his tails. He knows that's Odysseus, but then he does die. So that was sad to see. And then you get the conversation between Odysseus and Telemachus, Tom Holland, and Tom Holland's character basically realized, oh, you might actually be my father. But it was no Odysseus didn't come out and say it. But fast forward, we get to the part where, mind you, Odysseus has not revealed himself yet. He's had this cloak on, and he said the name that he said that he is, when people ask, is basically this soldier that he lost when he first was doing the Trojan horse and they were doing their thing. And Penelope sets up the rig to see who's going to be the suitor for her. The rig with the axes, and you got to shoot the arrow through. But you got to even be able to get the string on the arrow, right? Remember, that's a part of the film. Like, that's what makes Odysseus so special. Is like the way he could get this bow, this string around his bow, nobody else can do. And fast forward, you have everybody trying and trying and trying, and nobody can get it. And then finally, the beggar, and that scene is funny because it's like Robert Pattinson, he plays such a good douche. He's like, somebody get this beggar out of here, because Odysseus, he's portrayed himself in that scene as a beggar, as basically somebody that, well, I don't want to say beggar, but he's portrayed himself as somebody that kind of, you know, is of the less fortunate. But that's the main part of the story, is you treat everybody as if they are a god. That's how it's portrayed in the film. Like, basically treat everybody how you want to be treated and give grace. And in the scene, everybody's trying to do it. They can't bend the string, and then you get Odysseus, but he's in the cloak. He strings it, and then part of the story also is when he uses a string and he basically lets the string go off with the sound. It's basically like a warning. It basically is telling whoever you're about to fight or the prey you're about to kill. It gives them a warning to at least give themselves a fighter's chance. And he does that, and then he puts the bow through, and that was that. So that scene really stood out to me. But overall, it was an amazing movie. The scene in the cave with the Cyclops was crazy. The visuals of him, along with the sound of some of the things when he was killing these soldiers and he's eating them, and it's crunchy, like, it's crazy. And then also with that, you got that scene, and then also you got the scene where they end up in this forest with the big soldiers, right? Everybody's kind of seen those pictures. And the way they portrayed it was actually crazy. They basically got 7-footers aligned with these 5-foot actors to make them look larger than life. But with those two scenes in particular, you see Odysseus and kind of how he is as a leader and how he is able to leave his men behind for the betterment. But he does come to learn, like, I shouldn't move like that. And then also, I think one of the main themes of the story is redemption and taking responsibility for the things you've done in the past and making better on the things that you did. Because that's one of the themes of the story is Odysseus. He does these things, and ultimately we get to the end of the story, and he's like, we kind of put ourselves in a bind to not receive grace from Zeus because of what happened at Troy. And then another thing that stood out to me was from Anne Hathaway's character point of view, Penelope, the power of love even through times of waiting. And that was very beautiful to see when you see her and Odysseus reconnect. So it was an amazing film. I enjoyed it so much. Scale 1 through 10, I give it an 8.5. I might give it a 9 just because I am starting to like go back and recall some of the things that happened. And it's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, to be quite honest with you. But like, it was really no bad parts of the film. The only reason I probably don't give it a 10 is because maybe some moments were a little slow for me. But other than that, bro, it's really nothing bad that I can say about the movie from a visual standpoint, from an audio soundtrack standpoint, from an actor standpoint. Nobody had a bad performance. You even had Travis Scott in it, and everybody's been asking me, how did Travis Scott do? Honestly, he wasn't in it that long, and what he did, you really couldn't say is bad, because he basically was kind of like a moderator, basically saying what was going to happen. So even seeing him in it, bro, but it was an amazing film. We kind of knew this was going to happen, though, because you talk about one of the greatest directors we have, giving him one of the most profound stories in all of literature with the Odyssey. So we knew this was going to happen, but to actually see it, feel it in theater is different. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Y'all need to go see the Odyssey if you haven't already. And I appreciate y'all tuning in for another video. The video after this, I will be breaking down the most recent Comic-Con panel for Marvel. and some of the things that were announced, because there was a lot of insane things that were announced last night as I'm recording this on, I believe it is July. I think it's July. I think it's today's the 24th or the 25th. Or no. I think it's the 26th or 27th. My bad, y'all. I've been working a lot, so I kind of forgot the day. But today is Sunday, and I'm going to see Spider-Man on Thursday. So, however that matches up. But the next video I will be posting will be breaking down the most recent Comic-Con panel in San Diego, Marvel Hall H. It was insane. The things that were announced were insane, but I will be talking about that in the next video.